Hello, this is Second Story Garage. I'm Quentin Young. I'm here with Ash Grunwald. How you doing?
Good, thanks, brother.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Ash is playing at the Boulder Theater tonight, which will have happened by the time you see us. But tell us about, you're from Australia. Tell us about what you're doing here and what you're up to.
Well, I'm here with a good friend of mine, Xavier Rudd, who does really well and plays pretty big shows and he's been coming to the States for, I think, almost 10 years. And this is my first tour of the States. He's been good enough to have me along, and I'm really stoked to be here, and I really hope that I can keep coming back and maybe one day get a bus like that.
Yeah, I saw the bus this morning. That's a pretty nice ride you have there.
It's pretty epic.
Yeah.
I've never done that either, and that is so cool when you just finish a gig, just hang out for a little while, then get to bed and just to the next place.
And you were saying you and Xavier are buds back home and live in the same place. Where are you from?
Byron Bay.
And you grew up in Melbourne?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you do this like really kind of like American style dirty blues, like Southern blues. And you do like a one-man band thing with it. You have a kick drum and you play guitar, and it sounds great. But tell me about how you got into the blues. At first, you were talking about how growing up you were listening to a radio program that played the blues. Tell us about that.
Yeah, there was in Melbourne. There was a really cool scene, which is quite surprising for blues. But there was a little blues scene that was some quite accomplished sort of traditional style players doing some quite tasty things, and there was 2 radio stations that had multiple blues shows on them. And so I used to I don't know how I actually in the first place got into blues. I do remember seeing that movie Crossroads when I was 12.
Yeah, Ralph Macchio, if I remember correctly.
Doing his Karate Kid thing,
Steve Vai, I think, actually did the...
Yeah, that was the fight scene. Yeah. The guitar off at the end.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know, I just got into it. And it was a really good education for me growing up in Melbourne there, listening to those shows and learning to play it. And then when I became a player, they'd play me on the radio. And
this was American style or American blues that you were listening to? Who really inspired you?
My big hero is Howlin' Wolf. Because I like to sing loud and try and, I like the idea of projecting out something big and, something big. Wolf.
I think of everything you do is kind of big. You've got a big voice and your guitar tone is big and you've got the bass drum in front of you.
Yeah, I like that idea of just expressing yourself and just going, bang. So Wolf and Son House are 2 guys that were really like that. And when I used to listen to, when I was growing up and still now, I'm not really, like even in the blues things, pretty nice acoustic stuff and sort of lightweight, happy kind of things I'm not really into. I'm more into the...
Yeah, in your face kind of...
Yeah, but it's
listen to me.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Maybe it's a bit attention seeking, but I love Wolf, and then on the electric guitar, really love Albert King, and Jimi Hendrix, and Buddy Guy, and John Lee Hooker, BB.
So what about doing the one-man thing, doing it all yourself? Did you debate on whether you should have a band behind you doing that so you could just do the guitar, or what went into your thinking about doing it all yourself?
Well, I've done every variation of a lot of variations. I used to have a 3-piece way back in the day, and I was sort of like making a living from music, like band on the weekend, restaurant on a Tuesday night, duo on a Wednesday, and just doing all different things. And then I kind of got swept up in that Aussie roots thing that came along, with people like Xavier and John. I don't know if you know John Butler Trio. And
He comes through a lot.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So I sort of got swept up in that, I was from that blues background, which was different to those guys. But I sort of just got into that, and it just went well for me, and. At the time, it was just like, playing solo and doing the one-man band thing, it forces you to sort of innovate in a way, or you've got a problem, you want to be as big as you can be, so how are you going to solve that? There's different ways of doing it, and sort of like a a little bit mad professor-y in the way that I like to put things together. So, like, what I did today here is the simple version, but I've done a lot of different, more complicated things. And, used a lot of hip-hop
You did a lot of
beats and
things
stuff.
today.
Yeah, that's virtually the acoustic
bass drum,
version.
you have the kick drum, you have the snare drum going because you have 2 pedals going,
Yeah.
and then you have all kinds of other things that you're doing.
Yeah. Well,
Using every limb to play the music.
Yeah, well, and that's the organic version. Like, I did go through a period over the last couple of years where I was using beats and I was triggering them with pedals that were USB to the computer and fiddling around, trying to be a DJ with my feet while I was, playing blues over the top and stuff. But I'm just happy now going back to what I was doing probably about 6 years ago. That's what I'm doing here in the States. That's playing that more raw stuff that.
And you have a lot of
So-
technology, but that's incorporated in what you do, but it still ends up sounding really rootsy, and it sounds like the essence of blues.
Well, that's cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, my idea with that stuff, with the technology, is to totally geek out at some other stage and then put it together and then just be completely raw and just forget everything and
Right.
forget that you're even playing and just be in the moment. Don't be thinking about any technology while you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one reason I did go away from doing the looped beats and stuff, because it wasn't as spontaneous.
Mm-hmm. So you have 10 albums out, right?
Yeah.
What's the latest? Give a little plug here.
Oh, well...
People are not going to be able to see your show tonight who are watching this, so where
Right.
can people hear your music?
Well, you can go to iTunes or anything like that. What I'm selling at the gigs here is actually just a self-titled album, and it's a compilation of those last 10 albums. But so I don't know what That's the reason I did it, was because the last album that I did was actually a rock band setup, and that's not really the core of what I've done for my whole career. So I'd feel silly just bringing that to the States. So.
Mm-hmm. And
Check
you put
it
that
out.
you put that together just for this tour, or just
just for this tour.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Self-titled as Grunwald, and
Should be on iTunes.
okay, cool. Well, thanks a lot for coming in. We had a great time listening to you.
Cheers.
Yeah, and you will too. Watch the videos.